It's that time. The big dance is upon us. Gonzaga's all-time leading scorer, Drew Timme, embarks on one last journey to bring a championship home to the kennel.
This championship and all we've been through this season means so much more to me.
It's do or die the rest of the way. Our March Madness Special begins right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Viva Las Vegas, where Gonzaga is set to take on UCLA in the Sweet 16. I'm Travis Green.
And I'm Andrew Quinn. Thank you for joining us for our Bulldog Madness Special. And Travis, we have a lot to talk about heading into this game.
Yeah, we definitely do. So let's hop right into it. First, let's make sure you know when and where to watch this game. The Bulldogs and Bruins tip off at 6:45 tomorrow night, and KREM 2 is the only place for you to watch it. So be sure to keep it right here for game day for in-depth coverage leading up to and after the game. Now, Thursday will mark the third matchup between these two teams since 2021. All these games have been high stakes, Andrew, whether it be for NCAA tournament or top 25 rankings at the start of the season. So I think it's safe to say a little bit of a rivalry starting to form here.
Definitely a little West Coast rivalry, and these teams continue to meet each other in these big games.
Absolutely, and the players agreed.
Yeah, it's been a rivalry for a lot of years, I feel like now, and it just keeps getting bigger. And every single time we play each other, it's the most talked about game, and you just gotta expect a good game at this point.
The Bulldogs and Bruins both return familiar faces.
So a lot of the same characters, so it's kind of the act 3 here within kind of a small time frame.
Except this time, the script is a little flipped. The Bruins have the experienced backcourt led by star senior guards Jaime Jaquez and Tiger Campbell.
They got two veterans in Jaquez and Campbell, and they're aggressive with the ball. They get to the cup. They can hit tough shots. So I think our focus is on just stopping those two.
It's tough, but I think it's not something we didn't handle before. We went against TCU, San Francisco, many guard-heavy teams. So I think if we do what we did against those teams, I feel like we should be okay or right where we want to be.
The last time these two met in Vegas, Gonzaga led by 20 points at halftime. The Zags have started the past two tournament games slow, though, having to make second-half comebacks. They're hoping they can replicate what happened in 2021 rather than the most recent games.
I think a good start, definitely helps out as far as team morale and kind of just playing from ahead maybe. But I don't think we expect to be up 20 at half this game. I'm sure it'll be nice, but I'm sure it'll be a hard-fought game. But definitely getting out to a good start will help, but I think it's all about the finish in these games.
Now Gonzaga's opponent here, Travis, the UCLA Bruins and head coach Mick Cronin back in the Sweet 16 this year, and a team Gonzaga is very familiar with. As Travis just mentioned, you heard it there. These two teams met in December of last year in a game that Coach Cronin said his team played, quote, terribly in. So they're looking to bounce back this time, and players said that this is a new team and a new year, and so they're trying to put that game behind them.
It's hard to compare a game, from a year ago or even when we played them before that, because we have a whole new team, they have a whole new team. Obviously, there's still some guys that were there, just like we have, but we're going into this game not worried about the past ones and just trying to get a win.
One big difference to this year's Bruins team has been the rise of Jaquez into being one of the best college players in the nation. He and Drew Timme go all the way back to being roommates at a Ball is Life camp in high school. Jaquez is impressed with how far both of their careers have come.
It was great to just get to know him, get to see how he was at the time. I don't think either of us knew how far our careers were going to go at that time. We were just kids enjoying basketball and having fun, and it's great to see him and all the success that he's had there, and I credit that to all the hard work that he's put in.
Coach Cronin said last year's team was not ready defensively to face the Zags in that December matchup. This year the Bruins had the top scoring defense in the Pac-12, but Coach Cronin says the Zags are still a very tough matchup for a few reasons.
They have three things: coaching, plus, Drew Timme, and shooting. How's that for you?
Well, how about that? Mick Cronin simplifying things for us there. 3 things that make the Zags good. I think the underlying thing here is these two teams, sure, there's a lot of guys we've seen play in these past matchups, but it's still a new year and new teams.
Absolutely, and right now UCLA's freshmen are playing outstanding basketball. Obviously, with the loss of Jalen Clark, they've needed a few guys to step up, including Amari Bailey, the freshman from Sierra Canyon, playing great basketball right now. So even though there are some old characters that we've mentioned, both of these teams look a little different this year, so we'll see how this one plays out.
Yeah, a lot of youngins. Hey, speaking of youngins, this show is still in its young part right now. As we continue to move on in our Bulldog Madness Special here, up next, we're looking at the history between the Bulldogs and Bruins.
Yeah, there have been many unforgettable moments, including some heartbreak and one miracle shot by Jalen Suggs. We're reliving it all when Bulldog Madness returns in just 2 minutes.
Here's a look at the programming schedule tomorrow evening right here on KREM 2. After watching the game on KREM 2, be sure to stay here for a special edition of KREM 2 News, including reaction from the players and Coach Few. And welcome back to our KREM 2 Bulldog Madness out here at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas ahead of Gonzaga's matchup with UCLA in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, this is one of the most anticipated matchups in college basketball right now, and it's one that has a lot of history as well. KREM 2's Mark Hanrahan gives us a look back.
One of the things that makes March Madness so entertaining is all the storylines. It's the Cinderella stories, the upsets, the rivalries, and there are certainly no shortage of storylines between Gonzaga and UCLA. This will mark the 8th time the teams have faced each other, the 4th time in the tournament. Anticipation for this game is through the roof.
Gonzaga has time to do something. Suggs for the win.
It's the shot that's still fresh in the minds of basketball fans across the nation. Jalen Suggs hit a 40-foot buzzer beater in overtime of the Final Four to push the Bulldogs past the Bruins and to national championship game. But to understand the history between the two teams, you have to look all the way back to 1999. Long before the Bulldogs were a national powerhouse, the team went down to Pauley Pavilion in Los Angeles for a preseason game and stunned the Bruins, beating them by 16. The two teams have met a total of 7 times, 3 times in the tournament. Of those matchups, Gonzaga's won 5, UCLA's been the victor twice. But one of those Bruins wins is one of the most painful losses in GU basketball history. 17 years ago, the team squared off in the Sweet 16. Gonzaga was the heavy favorite behind the nation's leading scorer, Adam Morrison. The Bulldogs blew a 17-point lead and lost to UCLA by 2. The upset left Morrison in tears and GU Nation stunned. 9 years later, in 2015, the Bulldogs were out for revenge when the teams again met up in the Sweet 16. This time, the Bulldogs handled UCLA, beating them by 12, behind solid performances by Shemek Karnowski and Domantas Sabonis. In their most recent matchup early last season, Gonzaga easily beat UCLA by 20. That brings us to this year's matchup. UCLA's the 2 seed, Gonzaga's the 3 seed. This time, they're set to again square off in the Sweet 16. UCLA hoping to move past the Suggs buzzer beater. The Bulldogs out to prove they're the best team in the West. Yeah, and listen to this stat, guys. When the teams play each other on Thursday night, it marks 17 years to the day that UCLA upset Gonzaga in the Sweet 16 back in 2006. They call it March Madness for a reason, and we'll have to wait to see how this game shakes out. But the sports world will be watching. In the studio, I'm Mark Hanrahan for KREM 2 News.
Hey, thanks, Mark. Well, listen, 17 years to the day after Adam Morrison's college career came to an end. Looks like he's finally getting his one shining moment.
Yeah, the former Gonzaga star stars in a new AT&T commercial. Take a look. Gotta love that. Adam getting a hand up from Greg Oden. How about that? A throwback as he sings about being willing to try. By the way, another former Zag, Chet Holmgren, is in another commercial, so you'll want to keep an eye out for him as well.
Yeah, and we got a Gonzaga fan in a commercial with Steven Adams, too, so Gonzaga
Everywhere.
well represented. Well, hey, we have more to come on this Bulldog Madness special, and coming up next, it's time to talk to the seniors, Travis.
And there's none bigger than the big Texan, Drew Timme. We are digging into the archives to hear from a young Drew back at the start of his Gonzaga career. That's up next.
all the guys, we talk a lot, and we're very excited about it. We really think we can do something special there.
It's kind of been something that a lot of people have been asking me about, like, are you coming back for the 5th year? Like, what are you doing? And I've kind of just been telling everyone, like, nah, I'm done. I've done my 4 years. I've had a hell of a time. It's been the best time of my life. It's just time for me to move on, you know. I think it's been a match made in heaven. It's been the perfect fit for me. I love everything about GU, Spokane, the Kennel, but I kind of just feel like it's time for us to kind of say our goodbyes, you know. I think that's the biggest difference, especially from last year. I was not set on leaving, and I was unsure if I was ready for a new challenge and ready to say goodbye to this place. And I feel like this year I've kind of just like taken another step and grown up, and I just feel so ready to leave. And I feel like this place has prepared me so much for these new challenges coming up that I just think it's my time to say goodbye. And I think that's kind of just the beauty of it, is I feel like I've left my mark on this program, and it's left its mark on me. And we've kind of just reached this time where it's like, man, what a time for the ride to end, you know. I'm kind of just ready for the next chapter in my life.
Well, there you have it from the mustached man himself, talking on his very own Gimme Timmy podcast about why he won't be returning to Gonzaga for a 5th year. Welcome back to our Bulldog Madness Special out here at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Let's talk a little bit more about Drew now.
Yeah, absolutely. And with his announcement, these tournament games, this tournament run has to just mean so much to Drew. You saw it in the TCU game, Travis. He was able to put the team on his back, as he's done many times this season.
Yeah.
So clearly this is something that means a lot to him. Hopefully he can finally break through and win that championship.
Completely agree. And thank you to Drew for when I asked him. I could tell it meant a little more, and he gave us a little viral response there. So, but with, this announcement, it turns out pretty much Drew and the Zags, they were like a perfect match, you could say. I would think that's safe to say, huh, Andrew?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you say that, because Drew has mentioned when he first came to Spokane, he's like, I don't know if I'm going to like it up here. I'm a Texas boy, used to everything down in Texas. But really, I mean, you can just see how much he's flourished here. He's now the all-time leading scorer. Drew has had quite the career here, and he will be missed when he leaves.
Definitely. And it turns out our former sports director, Brenna Green, talked to Drew back when he was a high schooler.
That's right.
So we got the story for you.
Drew Timme started the 2018-2019 school year with over 30 offers from some of the best basketball programs in the nation, including Virginia, Michigan State, and Arizona. But choosing the one always felt obvious.
In the back of my mind, I always knew Gonzaga was the place for me.
What made you decide that Gonzaga was the right school for you?
Just the style of play is perfect for a player like me, and they've had players like myself come through, and the way they develop them just speaks to how great the coaching staff is and just how it lets a player like myself thrive in that situation, so it was a no-brainer for me.
It's got to be a grind.
It was a no-brainer, both on and off the court, for his parents as well.
1, 2, 3. Let's go.
Who better than to send your kid to play and learn from and to be such a determining factor in their life than Mark Few and his staff. They are great guys. They're great people. Most people send their kids off to college without anybody guiding them, and knowing they're going to be around such good people. I mean, what more can you ask for as a mom?
For their style of play, the way they play, and what they proved that they've done in the past. Yeah, I think always at some level, we always kind of deep down knew it was a perfect fit for Drew.
Drew began developing the skills for his perfect fit program in middle school, catching his now varsity head coach's eye in 8th grade.
Man, there's been a foul every possession.
Most kids at his size, especially at that young of an age, are one-dimensional at best. And Drew never was. Of course, he could dominate on the block. He could handle the ball on the perimeter at a young age. He could score in different ways. His vision of the game and understanding how the game's played was always really high IQ. We haven't had a Drew, so I tell a lot of coaches that I talk to, he's a once-in-a-lifetime kid.
Yes!
Now,
we had a really solid half offensively.
He gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
What did they kind of tell you that they envision you being at GU?
Kind of like Kelly Olynyk, Zach Collins, like guys like that, just kind of being kind of the next one, just developing me the next big out of there.
I see him with that potential as well. And what's great about Drew is he's not afraid of working hard. So wherever he's at right now, he's going to get better.
So we know what the coaching staff expects of Drew.
Oh, it's a block.
But what can the kennel expect of him?
I'm an energy bringer. I like to get the fans in the game and get the place rocking. So just do everything to get the gym going and do whatever it takes to win. It's the part I love the most about the game is just the energy that comes with it.
The guy hates to lose, and he wants to win. And so it's some people are fake with that emotion. It's real with Drew. That's just who he is.
We all know that makes Drew and the kennel a perfect match, which he learned at Craziness in the Kennel and again when the Zags hosted UW.
The craziness in the kennel was pretty unreal. I mean, it was spectacular. The energy was crazy. Just walking around the line outside, starting at like 8 in the morning, was insanity. So that was pretty cool. And I thought, oh, it can't get any better than that. And then Drew and I went up and watched the game, and oh my gosh, it was even crazier. I don't know, it was just such a different atmosphere, and he was like, I'm ready to get there now. Like, this is what I want to play here. Like, he was so excited.
That was crazy. That's the environment I love to play in. Fans are going crazy the whole game. The place is rocking from start to finish, and it made me want to play. I was excited just watching it.
So get ready, Gonzaga fans, because Drew and the best recruiting class in Gonzaga basketball history are about to bring it.
All the guys, we talk a lot, and we're very excited about it. We really think we can do something special there.
It's hard to believe that this kid, you know, is going to be able to play on such a stage. I mean, it feels like such a gift and such a blessing, so it's pretty exciting.
Oh, man, what a blast from the past there. Just so much fun to hear from Timmy's parents and obviously coaches there. Special thanks to Brenda Green for that story.
Yeah, that's right. And an energy bringer, he said he was.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think we've all seen that, right? Tickling the stash. But of course, Drew isn't the only senior on this year's Gonzaga team. This year's seniors also include Anton Watson, Rasir Bolton, and Malachi Smith. Now, just like Drew, this is the last ride for Rasir Bolton. His college eligibility is up, so this tournament is his last with the Zags. But for Watson and Smith, it is still not clear if they will choose to return for an extra year next year.
Yeah, the new days of college basketball. Hey, I got to talk to all those seniors back at the start of March Madness. So, Raj, obviously, this is your last season, right?
Yeah.
So, how much would it mean to you just go on a run here for you guys?
It mean the world to me. You know, I think it'd be a storybook ending for any senior. So that's the plan. You know, we're gonna go out here and practice. You know, play hard in the games and see what happens. But for sure, I would love to win it all.
You know, we want to keep this thing going. It's good to go into March with some momentum.
It's crazy, man. The season felt like it gone by so fast, and really only got a month left of basketball. You know, so we gotta enjoy this time and work our tails off.
Now, we should mention UCLA also has several seniors playing in this game. You've heard a lot about them so far in this special. This tournament could indeed be the end for guards Tiger Campbell, Jaime Jaquez, and David Singleton.
Yeah, we'll be talking more about those UCLA guards up next as we break down the 3 keys to a Gonzaga victory. Our Bulldog Madness special rolls on in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to our Bulldog Madness special. We are live in Las Vegas, getting you set with everything you need to know ahead of tomorrow's big matchup between Gonzaga and UCLA.
And now it's one of our favorite segments. We're going to hop into our 3 keys for Gonzaga to get a victory. And Andrew, our first one's going to come no surprise. You probably know these guys' names better than you know your own brother's name. You got to stop Jaime Jaquez and Tiger Campbell. That's the key for Gonzaga, so the guards are going to have to play solid defense. Jaquez is averaging 17.5 points a game. Tiger Campbell, 13.5. You got to stop them.
Absolutely. And the next key for Gonzaga, listen, Travis, they need to start fast.
Yeah.
The Zags have been slow out of the gates all season, but especially in this tournament, you absolutely can't do that against this team. Now, the last time these two played here in 2021, Gonzaga led, get this, 29-8 at the midway point of the first half. They led 45-25 at halftime, wound up winning 83-63. It worked then. If it ain't broke, right, Travis? Got to work now with a similar UCLA team.
I think a 20-point halftime lead is a good recipe. Our third and final key for you, feed Drew Timme and Anton Watson. We've seen it plenty this season. Just keep doing it. It's no secret the Bruins' strength is their backcourt, right? Timmy and Watson can have a huge game in this one. UCLA's only big man that really is a threat is Adim Bona, and he's 6'10", and a freshman, been dealing with injuries all season. So what's that tell you, Andrew? That tells you the Zags can attack down low. They have experience, the Bruins don't. And there's not depth there either. And Gonzaga also off the bench. Let's not forget, little Ben Gregg. He can come in.
That's right. And we still don't know how limited or if Bona will even play tomorrow. So remains to be seen, but definitely got to get the ball to Drew down low and let him facilitate.
Yeah. Worked last game. I think that's fair to say. It was worked all of his career, to say the least. But, hey, and one more reminder for you. Gonzaga and UCLA, hey, they tip off at 6:45 p.m. tomorrow night, where you can watch it right here on KREM 2 News, the only station you can watch it on, so be sure to keep it with us after the game because we're going to have special post-game interviews in the locker room, post-game press conference. We're going to have it all for you right after the show.
That's right. So keep it right here on KREM 2. And thank you very much for joining us for this Bulldog Madness Special. We are here live in Las Vegas. These guys are getting ready to shut the place down and turn the lights off. So we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you after before the game a little bit.
Before the game.
We'll see you before the game. Preview it a little more, and then we'll see you after as well.
Have a good night.